Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today, my name is Shihab, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about my life experiences. It's easy to feel good about one's life, but I don't know whether it's going to be that easy to actually talk about it, because there's so much. But I'm going to stick to three people in my life. I'm from Addu, and when the British left Gan on the 19th of March 1976, my father sent me off to Male with them, not with them, but on the same date. I came to Male, and then back home I was looked after because I was one of the two kids at home of my parents, and well looked after, pampered, and all that. And when I came to Male, I had to stay in a house where my father kept me. And at the age of almost much younger than my daughter here sitting in blue, I had to wash my own clothes. I had to live with strangers, and I went on crying at night, almost every night. And then I refused to stay at that place. I came to Male to actually go to India to actually study religious studies. But 1976, there was emergency in India, and then the government of Maldives did not allow children to be sent at that time. So my father then had a friend, the late Mohamed Wahid, and his wife Rahma. They offered to have one of the two. Because I was the younger one, I got to stay with them. My brother had to go back home. They actually looked after me. You know, there were a lot of people come to our house. That is life those days. You know, children come from the islands, stay in the house, do the work, and then study. I also stayed there like that, but somehow, somewhere along the way, I was fortunate enough to become a part of the family. Somehow, like I was treated like their own child. I can still remember, but I was very scared of her, Rahmat, Al-Mastit, scared, terrified sometimes, because she was a very strict woman, very strict guardian. I remember once, she uses this terrific element in, tool. She will say, you don't. One day she said, because I was a little bit naughty, a little bit too naughty. She told me, now you get out of my sight. I don't want to see you again. See, I don't have my parents with me. I was all alone, with a stranger. So finally, I thought I'll go. I just left. It was one evening. Almost at midnight, I saw her come. I was sitting at Air Hunan, Holy Jav. This, what do you call it? Holy Danidin, no? I was sitting under one of those, and she came and said, come home. So I went home very quietly. I don't talk in front of her much. Up to this day, she will tell me, Muhammad Shihab, duha was. I don't know why. I never speak in front of her, speak up in front of her. So somehow, all along the way I became one of the family. And she would, one of the days she told me that, I was in grade 7 in Majidia school, and I wanted, at that age, it looks good to be in a job. And then some people came from the immigration department and said, there's a good job. I wanted to go and be an immigration officer, with a uniform. It looks really good, really cool. But she said, no, you're not going. If you want to be an immigration officer, go, never come back. Again, I couldn't, so I stayed in school. I studied. That's that. And then, long story short, When I left, Aero grade the Nimuni with our board certificate. Mihar degree in Nimuni of our Aero, you know, you're somebody. So then I thought there was Dr. Zahir Hussain, the education minister at that time. He came, he came, gave a big lecture, and then we were all people like Said Ahmad and I, you know, we were very attracted by this being a headmaster, you know. So I went to Baitol Education Center as a trainee headmaster, and there was the next door rector, Dr. Anwar now, he was the headmaster at that time, so I went with him. And that is where I actually learned hard work. We, at that time there were no Divehi textbooks, but we were teaching JSC, Junior School Certificate exam in Divehi. Children set for the exam in Divehi, but there were no textbooks in Divehi. So early in the morning, we started school at 6:30. At that time, grade 6, I was teaching ABC, to write ABC in grade 6. And then we had to teach them social studies, general science. And there was the general science textbook. Anwar would sit up in the morning. When I go to sleep at 12 o'clock, he will be up translating. When I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, he will be translating. We start school at 6:30 and we work until about 10 o'clock at night. Then later I went to Malaysia, did a little bit of studies, came back as a teacher and head teacher in Lavinetto Education Center. That's where I met my daughter's mom, my wife, Esther. She's in school working even tonight. So 16 years actually, I worked 7 years in Lavinetto Education Center and 9 years in the Education Ministry. I worked with Mr. Ahmad Anwar, and Anwar was somebody you can talk to, you know, about everything. Never makes a judgment, never tells you what to do, but always listens to you and gives you a lot of advice. Not advice, but he will listen to you, and then in such a way that you know exactly what to do at the end of the discussion. And then after 16 years, I was, at that time, the government paid peanuts. And then I knew I had one mission in life, that is our two children will have a good education. And with the kind of money that the government paid, it was not possible. So I decided that I'll move out, Bazar Machadiye, had a good, had a job that actually will allow me a good roof, good medical care for my children, my family, my wife and my children, and my parents, and also promise of a good education for my children. And there I came across Mr. Mohamed Soli, who's the chairman of the company. And then, one day he told me, Sarkar Wolfadin Diam, Minister of the Abaskol Hingang Adifiti Ben, Director. So I went and I casually asked, can I carry your bag? One day I was going to the airport with him. He said, no. Shihab Bunahewake. Madamavis Amelia Dabas Ufulan Jehu were a Fasehane, Dabas Amelia, if I Adifuri. And one of the other stories that he told me is me and Edu Saddam Hussein photo Kidakabuni. Me Bunahewake, me Kala. Me Sateka Ganduara, Italak Sifan, protect for me, in any Jagia Kodan Lagi, whose Gaya Ganjifarastona in photo. This is, you know, what I want to say tonight is these three people are the three people that actually made my life, made me what I am today. I've been on the board of Maldives National Chamber of Commerce in industry for 4 years. I've been on the board of Care Society for 4 years. I've been with Transparency Maldives for 4 years now. I'm still on Transparency Maldives. I'm the treasurer at the Maldivian Red Crescent, and I feel good about my life. And when I ask myself why do I feel so good about myself, it's these three people, and there's one other person who is actually the secret behind all this. I want Mama. I want to Umrun Doloharu. I want to boot a gun in the Julian Sabihuga. Basically, Gardutolo Gamuga, Hituduga, Basco, Danko Vigutki, Lori and Anamfre, Mamma and a Kudori Hifata, Terja, Kudori Hifata, Lori, Gossa, I remember ke war reet me ko me I have never seen her, I have never seen a photograph, I have never seen anything of her. Me bune war reet me then lore faat jahad iru mamma vettifa mamma gaamache basketball vettifa basketball matin allori afroluge loriye diyama mamma crush wegin eruga addutulu gamugo onnane me war bar duwa launch e launch uga me den komme kaste wardigu wahage kur kolla mamma gengos gamuga me hospital ගෙනා gamuga fala wadimunu eruga mamma gotu du buruwe fehmi wahake nudekke mamma muni awun bappakariga Allah ali awun bappa kiyan Ali Shihab Allah afaga dekudin balahati look after our two children and he did that without a word, in silence to this day. Beauty yaki asluga alugu fahum visnadi migini asluga alugu life ga barak kamyab duniya ga nibbaru nasibrangalu kamyab miheka alugu vi e mamma ge duwai. That energy, but it is also because I believed in that energy. I learned to look up to people and not to speak to people, not to attach myself to life coaches. I have a life coach, I have a career coach, I have a success coach. The three people that I've just told you about. Kemiyama. They dirigolun higya mechchaka amille hedenka enge hedu neema den wagutki life becomes very beautiful and there's nothing to worry about. And today the inspiration behind my life is actually our two children. That's my mom. My foster mom, her tithi mom, my mom now. When I seriously think about it, I think it's actually being able to find somebody that you can trust, that you can talk to. Because with Anwar, with Mohamed Saleh, I spent almost 16 years with Anwar, either as a trainee headmaster, he was the education minister, I was headmaster, and then I was working under him, looking after the 8 schools. We spent hours and hours talking to each other about issues. And then even with Mr. Mohamed Saleh, the chairman of the company that I work in right now, Damas, we spend sometimes equally long hours talking to each other, talking about things. My point is, find a coach that makes a big difference. And do not question them. At least that's what I believe. Rahmat bunahin abdus bunan me Muhammad Shihab kitam me warakat timne kuding etere mean ekanya angan bunan because there is talk to her. I mean, at least discuss issues with her. So that is me. That's what I want to talk to you about tonight. And just to add to that a little bit, Balavinatol Hinwar Furtum Dieru, headmaster Dieruga, Erugas Pibuna, headmaster with them, they were a Bodumi Rugaras. Sorry, Rasgifanika me, Bodusinga, Gang Hunan, Atulvereka were Bodu Musari in the main, Echo Yatar Segno, the first refrain. Me and a Kaka then me Hunan, Kunika then me Hunan, then Hengos Muliraku Hunem work with me. But Anwar Eruga Masai Kore Furim, I want to Dasafi in Eche. Kada erashugo huri khatib algonda kommes kotuko hitangarani algonda adi certificate hadaga is erashugo khatib miha enege wisdom ma enege hunne hitaram paragona daswi. And to this day that has worked in my life. Senior mihunna min adohada emihun adoha miheka wi mehne hikam. And algonda life in the wahake ni tiriga algonda life mission ne kam men dekudin dem wara sali molu higga mihunna vefa den inna tankolaki algonda na dimawa komme miheki wara komme miheka hinitum me ginesteve ufaverkam ginesteve miheka veto belun ekamaku fahatu ge bennu asif detto elevala engodanna wara kudikudantaka shakwa kora me detto Shihabaki because because I want I believe that I can make this world a better place for a lot of people. And that is why I came here today. Thank you very much, Mr. Thank you. Exactly on time, 3 more seconds.